What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Rocket Vlogs. You find me out here at Great Western Buildings in Grand Junction, Colorado. Eric Beavers, if you're a viewer of the channel, you'll be familiar, but brought me out here. We're going to fly at a Grand Junction launch this weekend. I brought my 4-inch Punisher, and yes, I flew with it on an airplane in a checked bag, and yes, the TSA did inspect it, as you might suspect, but it's just fiberglass and Kevlar, so they put everything back in the box and sent me on my merry way. Hopefully everything goes well on the way back, but you'll see later in the video if that worked out. Anyway, I'm flying a CTI L2375 White Thunder in that rocket, so giving it an abusive start, but we got to build a motor, we got to prep the rocket and get some ejection charges and electronics ready, so let's... TSA put my nose cone back together. They don't clearly don't have the fiberglass rocket experience that some of us have had. Dude, that was already after a lot more sanding than I care to admit, so it's looking like there will be more. Everything's here though.
First things first, we've got some motors to put together. Like I said, this is a CTI L2375 White Thunder, and I've had a lot of issues with bigger CTI motors taking forever to light. So I sanded the cores on all 4 grains just a bit to knock down some of the mold release, and also not one of the casting tubes fit convincingly into the liner, so I had to peel a layer off of all 4 of them before I glued it up. In the background, you can see Eric cracking away and putting together his long burn M motor and an Aerotech N3300 redline. My rocket was about 95% complete upon arrival, so I just needed to throw some rail buttons on it and drill holes for shear pins and vent holes. I used a straight edge to line up those holes and keep everything nice and symmetrical with the fins. Then I used an HBR Tools drilling and marking guide to get everything marked out before I started punching holes in it with the drill. Speaking of HBR Tools, I'm running my new RV Simple Sled design that I had Shane design. It'll be available on the HBR Tools website soon. If you know me, you know I like to keep things super simple, so they're available with either 2 or 3-inch quarter-20 all-thread spacing, and both sizes have a middle hole too, so if you're running a single piece of all-thread in the middle of the electronics bay, it's perfect. The battery allowance is just a big flat spot beneath the 2 altimeters because I electrical taped them in place, and the back has a spot for either a featherweight GPS transmitter or a Silicdyne Reparix GPX transmitter and their respective batteries. Super simple stuff. Designs are kind of getting finalized, but look for these on the HBR Tools website pretty soon. Once the rocket was all ready to go, all we had to do was load everything up and leave at the crack of 4:30 in the morning, get this party started. After the rocket boosted, I filmed a couple other launches and got out my tracker, and I had really good tracker signal all the way down, which seemed like it took a really long time, and ultimately I would later find out why. I walked out to start tracking the rocket, and there's actually a bit of a mesa at the Grand Junction launch site about a mile out. I realized when I got down in a little crevice and had lost the tracking signal that I was either on top of or behind the mesa. Now I was just using an RDF tracker, no GPS on this flight. So no big deal. There's actually a road up there because there's a bunch of campsites. It's a really convenient addition for recovering a rocket if you happen to land up there. Eric and I drove his truck up there and we started following the beeps once again until, to my horror, I found only the Nomex tracking sleeve that I had put the tracker in, with a big rip where the quick link used to be. I like to tell Taylor's story of finding just his tracker from 32,000 feet, and now I have one of my own finding just my tracker from around 17,000 feet. As you can imagine, the problem in finding just the tracker not attached to the rocket is that there's now no way to track the rocket. Bummer. Especially a bummer because it had Eric's $700 rocket motor case that I had borrowed in it. A couple electronics, a couple other things. I wasn't really particularly concerned about the rocket or my altimeters. I really just wanted Eric to get his case back. Eric had brought his off-road capable golf cart, so we started cruising around all the dirt trails out there. It's a pretty hefty OHV area. There's a lot of ATVs and dirt bikes and everything going through there. So there was a lot of area to explore, and we were out there for a really long time, covered like 13 miles or something, following all the trails and getting out and stopping and looking around and trying to find anything. We saw no sign of it, unfortunately. So we packed up our bags and went home. On my way to the next launch I went to, Springfest at AAA Las Vegas, I got a text from Eric with a picture of what was left of my 4-inch Punisher. At least most of it. I really want to give a big shout out to Colleen. She's an awesome member of the Grand Junction Club. She flies a bunch of really hardcore minimum diameter flights and stuff like that. And she, I guess, just goes out there and goes hiking with her dogs and managed to find the fin can of my Punisher. To my great joy, Eric's case was completely fine. The electronics bay is gone. So this turned into an even more ridiculous manhunt, but I don't really think anyone in particular is going to go out looking for that thing, especially since there's a couple clues as to what happened here. So clearly the rocket deployed at apogee when it was supposed to. How do I know this? The tracker was on the apogee side. I heard it get louder as the tracker came out of the rocket, which is an indicator that the tracker is no longer inside of the rocket. The signal gets louder. And I was tracking it, following the wind, and everything seemed a-okay. Of course, at that time, I didn't realize I was following just the tracker. But another clue to look at in the wreckage is the zipper at the front of that tube. That fiberglass is very, very strong, and so is that Kevlar. So there had to be a very aggressive force on that Kevlar to get it to dig into the fiberglass tube like that, especially as far as it did. One would think that this might indicate that the apogee charges did not separate the rocket, as we saw on my 2.6-inch Punisher, which appeared to be coming in ballistic until the main fired and saved it at the last second. At least part of it. I only have part of that one too. If you want to know more about that, you can go check out that video in the top right corner. What I think happened, if you look at the clip once again of it taking off, you can see that the rocket destroyed the pad that it was taking off from. Now, this is a pad that was designed by Ben from Valkyrie and Eric, and they've been manufacturing and prototyping it for quite a while. This pad has actually had several J and K motors fly off of it. It's a really well-designed pad. The weak point, unfortunately, was some off-the-shelf riv nuts that didn't quite have enough beefiness to hold the legs on after a barrage of J and K flights, followed up by an extremely hard-hitting L motor. So you can actually see as the pad collapses, the rocket takes off at a pretty aggressive angle. It's pretty hard to tell from the ground footage, but the rocket did have a pretty nasty angle of attack, and I believe that is ultimately what caused this whole unfortunate scenario. Not unlike the death of my last 4-inch Punisher, I think this put a bunch of horizontal velocity on the rocket at apogee. And this can be a problem for two reasons. Both altimeters I had on the rocket used barometers to detect apogee, so when you're using a barometer-based altimeter, you do, I think, get a little bit better reading as far as overall altitude, even with some extreme horizontal velocity, where I would think that an accelerometer-based altimeter would start to muddy the waters a little bit as to whether it's going down or up. But I do think, regardless of a barometer, in my own theory, being more accurate than an accelerometer for an apogee reading in this exact scenario, that there will be some muddiness of their own. So my thought is that the rocket's extreme horizontal velocity caused the barometers not quite to fire at apogee, maybe a little bit after, when the rocket had a little bit of a nose down attitude. Even if it didn't, it was moving sideways very, very quickly. So when it fired the nose cone for the apogee charge, I think the nose cone immediately turned because it created all of this new drag as soon as it was free to, and the nose cone just went right past the airframe. On the way, it grabbed the tracker bag, ripped that quick link out, yanked hard enough to zipper the airframe tube. I don't know if it was flat spinning for a while and then managed to streamline right beforehand, because you would think it'd be pretty decently buried if it came in ballistic all the way from 15,000 feet, and it did cover a decent amount of ground. To make a long story short, my second 4-inch Punisher is now a pile of trash. Eric managed to salvage the Aeropack retainer, so thank you very much for that, Eric. I decided to do that as a bit of a test for smaller external fillets and just keeping things a little more aerodynamic on the outside, and test whether my internal fillets have been problematic in the past because of using cheap epoxy. Ultimately, now it looks like we'll never know, although I will say one fin was still attached to the motor tube by those fillets, so do with that information what you will, I suppose. I'm just happy Eric's motor case survived because it was borrowed and it was really expensive, and actually last time I destroyed a 4-inch Punisher, I got to buy a brand new one of the exact same case that I never got to fly because I destroyed the Tripoli Idaho Club 75-51-20. Running that back-to-back on the Punisher 4 failures and having to buy two 75-51-20s that I don't get to keep didn't sound very exciting to me, so I'm glad it didn't work out that way.
All right, out on pad A7, we have Ben with his Spooligan on a G54. Pad A7, Ben, you ready? Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Might be the highest it's ever gone.
Yeah, it was pretty stable. That was better than the eye.
But it did kick out the...
Somebody catch it! Nice! Ah. Four, 3, 2, 1. There we go.
Cole. You guys see it? Okay. How come I can't see it?
You might need glasses there.
I see it.
Oh.
Tim Sidewinder on pad C1. It's got an I-212 in it. Jolly Logic at 600 feet. Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Crap, I missed it. That was a Sidewinder.
Nice.
I see the smoke.
Way up there.
Holy
Holy
crap.
crap.
I can still see it. I can still see it.
There we go, Ben.
Wow.
Scratch built. He's expecting 500 feet on it, flying on an H100. It is a heads-up flight. All right, we got green lights. Pad B1 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That is legit.
A little squirrely coming out there.
Monk, come.
Bryant Calvers flying his laser lock on another H550. If you didn't see this yesterday, you're going to want to see this again. H550 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep. That's what it did yesterday.
Oh my god.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We have Tony flying his Journey 75 on an I-300. Estimated altitude is 4,500 feet. He has also named it the Sexy Green Machine. Pad B1. Going up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lost it.
Well, there it is. Yeah. It's smoke trail. It's just chilling up there. Yeah. There,
Yeah. All right.
Range is open.
All right, Ben Graybill, pad A7, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That worked as intended.
Freaking cool. Recovery, though.
I know.
Oh, that injection charge.
It was all pure chaos.
Dude, that was awesome.
Flying the Bronco in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Holy crap.
Look at that Bronco go.
Broncos don't play like that. There we go. Yep. Now you can see it the whole way. I was say, as long as you have.
Flying B2 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Missed. Sick, dude.
What motor was on it again?
H283 Super Thunder.
That burned up like a
Shoots out.
Dude, that was sick.
All right, we got a good event. Ranges. Oh, did Bryant's go farther? We're going to try again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was kind of perfect.
I hope it doesn't have the same problem. No.
Now.
There we go.
There you go.
Heads up.
Again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Those are cool motors, too.
They're just like still being anticipation.
I know. Nice.
I think he's been LCOing at balls.
What?
That's cold-blooded.
That one's going right back down here again.
Heads up. Maybe.
Rob, you can catch us one.
Okay,
It's gonna drape over the pads.
Yeah. You can shoot through it if you hurry up, Rob.
Are we doing closest to the pad?
Is that chute open?
God, and mine landed on the other side of the road.
Yeah, those are kind of shoots.
Yeah, Aerotech or something. You just
3,000 feet. Rob, are you ready?
yeah. That's a guesstimate. I have no idea.
Flying Rob's guesstimate in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There you go. That and shoot.
I heard it.
21 expected altitude, 5,000 feet. Pad B1. Going up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See the track and smoke.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a bunch of really cool stuff coming up, including a recap of finally flying the legendary Animal Motorworks M2200 skid mark with my dad at Tripoli Vegas' Springfest. That video will be out in the coming weeks following this one. I don't really have an exact timeline, but if you want to see that clip now, it is live now on patreon.com/rocketvlogs, as well as a whole bunch of other behind the scenes pictures and data and info. and videos and a bunch of other cool stuff. I just started work officially on my highest and fastest carbon fiber rocket project to date. Plan to fly over 60,000 feet in nearly Mach 3, and my friend Joe Barnard, BPS Space, cut the fins out for me on his CNC, and those clips will be up on my Patreon soon as well. So if you want in on all the fun and all the behind-the-scenes action, please check out patreon.com/rocketvlogs. My name is Braden Carlson. That's Braden, Braden, not Brandon. You just watched another Rocket Vlogs video where I calmly explain that I've destroyed yet another rocket. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Rocket Vlogs Official and follow me on Facebook at Rocket Vlogs. We just eclipsed 300,000 followers on Facebook and over 100,000 on Instagram as well. So go help pump those numbers up. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. You press the like button. Drop in the comments what you think happened to my Punisher. Is my assessment correct, or do you think something else happened based on the pictures you saw? Thank you so much to Colleen for finding the rocket once again and for that picture of its landing site. And thank you to Eric for loaning me all of your stuff and not being worried about it when it seemed to be lost and sending me all the videos of the teardown. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. I will see you in the next one.